What's going on, family? This is Samuel Genus, and you're watching Joining the 1%, where me and my family talk about our journey towards business ownership, wealth building, influence, and charity. My family's not here today, but I have a special guest. His name is Norman. He's a friend of mine, and I basically want to talk to him about overcoming the roadblocks in our mind. Me and him, we've had quite a few discussions, off camera, and I was like, man, I would really want to talk to you about this because I think many people in our communities could relate and hopefully gain some principles and overcome some battles. So I want to welcome you to the show, Norman.
Thank you.
And so you're married. Well, how old are you?
I'm 23. I'm 23.
23, and you're married. How long you been married?
Been married for 2 years, yeah.
2 years, and you got a child on the way, so congratulations.
Yeah, I think like a couple months, so yeah.
Did they find out like if it's a boy or girl yet?
No.
Okay.
We still have to go to the hospital for that.
Cool. So me and you've been talking about, we've had some really good discussions, because you're a believer, I'm a believer,
Yeah.
you love Jesus, I love Jesus. But we was talking about like just challenges that people have in their mind, like trying to make progress and almost like the roadblocks that are in our own minds and how we overcome them. We see other people doing things, making certain progress, but then we see it, but sometimes we don't see it for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like, we're like, oh, congratulations, they made it, but then we don't necessarily see ourselves making it like that or whatever. And it's not like you hate Jesus and hate the Bible, but yet, even though you're religious, it's like there's still something that's holding you back in certain areas. And I was like, man, that's this. Mm-hmm. I was just telling my wife, I was like, man, these were some really deep discussions. And I was like, man, it'd be great to have that discussion in the open, So you was mentioning, one of your goals. So I kind of reiterate the question again. What is like a goal you have in life?
Yeah, so right now my goal is like to be a full-time video editor. Mm-hmm. That's my hope and dreams.
Right.
Well, my actual dream was like to be an indie developer for video games, but it's in process and it's still hard because programming seems like really hard for me.
Yeah.
My brain seems not to get it, but right now I'm trying to focus on become better at like video editing. So that's pretty much it right now.
Cool. And what do you feel that was, because we had discussions and I was like, man, Norman, you can get paid for this and you can get paid for that.
Yeah, definitely.
But something was holding you back. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I think as we're talking about, it's like a what's it called? The roadblock in my head. I feel like society has put that in a lot of heads like mine, and I feel like this is why like I believe we're making this video about is because society has put this thing around a lot of young men like me that you can only follow certain things,
right?
And you have an age for certain things, and you have an age for how you have to act and everything. So for me, it has been a block. Like,
right.
Oh, you can only make certain money when you get to a certain age, or you can follow dreams if you have high school, college,
right.
University, and everything for you to be able to be successful. So when we started talking about like, okay, video editing, you can get paid just for simple things, I was like, that doesn't make sense. And
right.
even if you would tell me all the ways that you can make money out of it, my mind was like, but society says, or like people says that you cannot do that.
Right. So you was like blown away. You was like, no, like how can I make $50 an hour?
That to me is a lot.
Doing video editing.
That's way too much for me. It's like, doesn't make sense. Like, who would do that?
A lot of people.
No, that's true, yeah. Now I'm understanding it, but before I didn't.
Yeah. So where do you, how much money do you, so we talked about like getting on Fiverr, Upwork,
Yeah.
We talked about these other channels. And we was also talking about the, you kind of felt like you had to be like this great expert. Like you had to know everything about Adobe Premiere, in order to like even begin. And I was like, no. And I was just, what are your thoughts behind that? Like, why do you think you have to be like an expert before you even get started?
Again, like society teach me that. I didn't learn my life of how I think because of my dad. Well, yes, in a way, but more because of what I've seen.
Right.
Usually when you look at a person that is in a video editing, they already have everything. It seems like they have every single thing in place.
Right.
You ask them and they're like, oh yeah, I did college. Oh yeah, I did this, I did that. So for me, when I heard you saying that, I was like, it's impossible. Like, I'm not on that point.
Right.
I am 23 years old and I don't have any of that. So I don't think I can make anything. To me, I'm like, I think what I can do right now is work in a McDonald's
Wow.
or like work in a fast food or restaurant. And maybe from there, when I get money, I can probably go to college or something like that. But yeah, that was all in my head. It's like
Right.
that I need to do that no matter what.
And the crazy thing about it was the day that we was having that discussion, my daughter edits videos on her phone.
Yeah, I was so
and she
proud
got
about
a $300 gig.
No way, really?
Yeah, she made $300 from that thing that she was doing,
Darn.
and it was just basic video editing, you know. And you
That's a
probably know way more than her, you know.
I guess I'm still like trying to get out of that
you do.
mentality.
Like, it's like you actually know more than her, yet at the same time she knows less, but she was able to even make money off just a little bit that she knows. And I was like, man, Norman, you could do the same thing. That you actually have value, and you don't have to necessarily be perfect before you get started.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need all of the equipment before you get started. You just don't target those kinds of customers, right?
There were a lot of excuses in my head.
Yeah.
Like whenever you would tell me something, I would be like,
Right.
but people
Yeah.
have to do this. Or but people, like you have to be in this place. Like how
Right.
can you start doing something? And then you're like, okay, what do you know? And I was
Right.
like, okay, I know how to cut. There you go. No, everybody knows how to cut and they don't even have time.
Exactly.
And I was like, that still sounds something that doesn't make sense.
So that's the kind of point. It's like it's weird how like our brains, I think it just takes time for us to clear up all the things. And that's the reason why I think it's so good just for people to be patient and long suffering. And just because I get something doesn't mean that you're going to get it overnight, or just because you get something, I'm not going to be convinced overnight. And while we was talking, I was like, okay, you know, while we're hanging out with each other, you're going to eventually get it.
Yeah.
And I saw that so clearly. I said, because I saw the value that you have, and I'm like, yeah, you can, you know, as the man of your home, the husband, the soon-to-be father, like you can actually make some money. So here's a question I have for you.
Yeah. Oh, can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if we have time. But with that, I think that's why we always need a mentor. Like, that's why in my head I'm saying like, yeah, we always need to have a good father that knows how to live that.
Yeah.
Because if you have a father like mine, no offense, Dad,
Yeah.
if you're watching this, but it happens, you know, like whenever you don't grow with that mentality,
Right.
you're gonna make your kids like that. You're gonna make like, well, you cannot get everything,
Right.
son. You cannot be everything, son. That's not That's not how life is simple, because they have the mentality of like work to survive, but like not to grow mentally in the future or
Right.
with your family or your grandkids or anything. So
Yeah, I think parents have a tendency to give us what they know.
yeah.
It's like how do you lead somebody to a place you've never been,
Oh, that's
right? And so it's like they can only take us so far, and then it's like, and that's great, but then it's like, okay, well now who's going to be that person to show me beyond
Yeah,
that?
it's either your dad
Yeah.
or mentorship.
Exactly.
Like from outside. Somebody
Right.
that actually knows their life, you know, what they're doing.
So we're going to take a quick break, but when I come back, I want to ask you, how much money do you think you're capable of making?
darn.
So when we come back, I want you to answer that question. All right, we'll be right back after these few commercials. My name is Samuel Genus, and I'm the founder of YouShare360.com, and my company created an all-in-one business platform called the BackOffice. And with this platform, business owners can manage all of their contacts, their email campaigns, their marketing funnels, their automations, their e-commerce, their billing, their tasks, projects, and teams. I created the BackOffice because I saw that in order for solopreneurs and mom and pop shops and small business owners to become successful, they actually need all of these various features. They need CRM, they need email campaign, they need marketing funnels and automations, they need to be able to sell products or send out invoices, they need to be able to manage their projects and manage their teams and manage all their tasks. And so we was like, many of them were just like pulling their hair out. They was frustrated with trying to connect all these different platforms together. So there was a lot of tech headache, there was a lot of things they had to learn. And then on top of that, to get all these different features and software, the cost went up. And so when you're starting a business, you're trying to keep your costs low. So we decided to create a platform that have all these features and modules within the platform at one low price. One of the things I like about the plans that we offer is that we don't just consider ourselves a IT company. So we're not just giving you technology, we're also giving you education, and we're giving you consulting. So with our plans, when you select the Essential Plan or higher, we actually provide you with free strategy sessions throughout the year. It's actually associated with your plan, because we've noticed that many business owners, they get the software or they get technology and they think it's a magic bullet. And then we realize that, hey, there's some things you got to learn. You need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a blueprint in place. So we decided to incorporate those services with our plan. So when you pick one of the plans within the back office, you automatically get the training and you get the strategy sessions and you get implementation support. To sign up is easy. Simply go to ushare360.com, click on the sign up button in the top right, and you'll be on your way. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Samuel Genus, and you're watching Joining the 1%, where me and my family talks about our journey towards business ownership, wealth building, influence, and charity. And my family's not here today, but I have a special guest. His name is Norman. And today we're talking about overcoming the roadblocks in your mind, like dealing with self-limiting beliefs and stuff like that. Sometimes the greatest enemy is the one right between our ears. It's our own mind. And Norman is really, he's a friend. He's in the church. We're Christian brothers, but we got on this subject of like, man, how is it possible a person can love the Lord, have a good, decent understanding of the Bible, but yet still have these other things that they're challenged with. And I think as we discuss and build relationships with each other, we're like, okay, we're able to, help one another. And so, so he's a dad, right? He's married, and he's about to be a father in about what, 6 or 7 months?
Yeah, something like that.
And so the question that I have for you is, how much do you think you're capable of making?
It's hard. It's a hard thing because society says that at my age, supposed to be working.
And you're 22, right? No, 23, right?
I'm supposed to make probably 12, I guess, like $12 an hour. Mm-hmm. And that's what society says.
Right.
And I grew up into that, especially coming to America. America is different from my country.
Right. And what country are you from again?
I'm from Uruguay.
Okay.
Uruguay, South America. Mm-hmm. So, right now it's like, for what I'm talking to you about and everything, it seems like I can make a lot of money. Yeah. Like, for example, like a video might be, I can actually get paid probably $25 an hour, maybe, without a degree. I only have high school, pretty much, and the knowledge of video editing. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be my first time ever gaining $25 an hour. Because before, the maximum I ever got was $10 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's the reason why I love this conversation, is because the value you have, when we look at things from an employment perspective, right? Yeah. They're not going to always pay you what you're worth. They're going to pay you based upon what their budget says.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So they're going to be like, I'm going to give you $10 an hour or $12 an hour. They might even give you $14 an hour, right? But then when you take, when you kind of like take more control and say, you know what, I have this skill. I'm looking for clients rather than employers. And now as a business owner, you can be like, okay, I'm going to offer you this service, and I'm not going to let you determine the rate. Mm-hmm. I'm going to determine the rate. Yeah. And immediately you see how quickly that puts you in the driver's seat. You know what I mean?
But yet, this fear. That's why people doesn't want to take that step.
Right.
You know, because it takes a lot of gut
Yeah.
to do that, because then you're like, oh, well, but I'm going to lose a job. When's going to be my next paycheck? When it's going to be my next job? How long is it
Well,
going to take?
here's a cool thing. You don't have to quit your day job to do this, right? You can be like, okay, well, I'm going to keep my job at $10 an hour, but I'm going to do this on the side until this gets built up, right? Because you're right, there might, you may not have back-to-back work, right? But I think all that comes in the way you plan your business, if you start doing things from a contract perspective. So for example, if you're like, okay, if you're only gonna like record weddings or edit weddings, right?
Yeah.
Then now you gotta keep looking for all these weddings. But if you start targeting people who have a YouTube channel, right? They're putting out content every week.
Yeah,
so they're not gonna need you just once, every 6
probably need
months.
you for like a month or 2 months.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, if they're putting out content all the time, they're going to want your services indefinitely.
Oh,
they're going to want
yeah.
you for a long time. And,
Yeah.
Then what's cool about that is not only can you get somebody like that as a client, you can get 5 of them as a client.
That's a lot
so you
of
can
money.
actually have 5 customers, and all of them could be giving you a video every week. They can all be giving you 2-3 videos every week, and you can be charging them, anywhere between, $700 or $2,000 a month to edit their videos. And that's one customer.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
I never had that money in my life.
So having your own business will allow you to scale as well. It's like typically when you are an employee, you're basically, okay, you're giving all your time to this one company, and you don't really have much time left over. But when you become a business, now it's like, okay, I'm going to offer you this service, but at the same time, you can get more customers and you can simply hire more people on your team. Now they're working and editing the videos, and you're hanging out at the beach.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
Playing with your wife and kids.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's because I bet you when you work at these other jobs, the boss ain't there. He's probably somewhere chilling, and maybe he has a store manager. But
that's 90% of the bosses.
Exactly.
I think, yeah.
So here's another question. Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
I don't think I never thought going through, because like life have hit me like too quick. Like after I got out of high school, life hit me like a bucket cold, like a really
bucket of cold water.
bucket cold water, and it was like, I have not been thinking about the future. I think of an everyday thing, like everyday moment. Like, do I have food right now?
Right.
Okay.
So you're in the now.
I am in the now every single second. So
Right.
like, I guess it's gonna take me some other mental breakdown or something for me to start thinking
Right.
in the future. Because usually I think can you be unstable and think of the future, or you have to be more stable? That's the question I always have.
It just has to happen. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's like right now you got a child on the way. So now
I
it's
have
like
to think about it.
It forced life. Circumstances won't force you to think about the future. It will just raise up that, hey, it'll raise up reasons you should think about this. But it's not going to force you, because a lot of people will hear those reasons and still won't think about the future,
Yeah.
right? But the people who typically have less drama are the ones who plan, right? And it's kind of interesting because you and I, we read the Bible, and Jesus like, take no thought what you shall eat, and people read that as if like, so I don't need to farm. I don't need to have a barn. I don't need to store up and all that kind of stuff. It almost sounds like an oxymoron for a agrarian society.
Yeah.
It's like you're a farmer. Of course you're gonna, you don't have refrigerators and stuff like that, So Jesus was obviously dealing with some deeper issues as well. I don't think he was telling people not to think of the future, not to be lazy and all that, but to be like, okay, because in the same Bible, Solomon is like, consider the ants, how they, they work and they gather their food, but you don't see them in the winter. But they stored up all that food to take them through the winter. Yeah. And one of the blessings that we see in the book of Deuteronomy is where God says, hey, I will bless your basket in your storehouses.
Yeah.
Your basket is typically like your wallet, the stuff you're walking around with today. Then I'll bless your storehouses as well. But I think life just brings up reasons, to kind of think about it. And I think people who don't think about it as much, it's almost like getting hit in the face because you didn't know somebody was going to swing, you know? But if you know they're going to swing, you're going to be like, you're going to have your arms up.
Yeah, pretty much prepared, yeah.
Yeah, so you know, you can't prepare for everything, but I think it kind of helps you to be, okay, this person's about to hit me. I'm gonna have some offense and defense in place like that. Here's another question, and we'll go to a break, but I'll actually just give you some time to think about it. What do you want to provide for your wife and kids?
Can I answer it now? Or?
Yeah, good. Well, you good. Well, let's break to a commercial,
Yeah.
and then we'll come back. So the question is, what do you want to provide for your wife and your child that's on the way?
I'll think about it.
This is Samuel Genus with Joining the 1%. We'll be right back after this commercial. Starting a new business is exciting, but it quickly becomes overwhelming and frustrating if you don't have the proper guidance. After working with dozens of business owners, I realized that they struggled with understanding marketing concepts. They didn't know what they needed to be successful. They struggled with implementation and optimization, and they struggled with scaling their business. So to help my clients, I created an activity workbook entitled Joining the 1%, Module 1, where I walk business owners step by step through the process of picking the right product, establishing a reasonable plan, creating the marketing funnel they need for their business, and how to optimize the funnel for growth. This is not a book you read, it is a book you do. This is why we call it an activity workbook. Instead of chapters, it has steps, and all you have to do is follow the steps to move your business forward. So if you're tired of running in circles, and if you don't actually have a game plan, then you want to get this activity workbook, Joining the 1%, Module 1. Go to www.joiningthe1%.com. Take care. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Joining the 1%. And on today's broadcast, we're talking about overcoming the roadblocks in your own mind. And I have a special guest, Norman. And I was asking him, what do you want to provide for your wife and your child that is on the way? What do you want to give them? What do you want to show them?
I want to give them a good life, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, I don't want to give my child the easy way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
I still want them to know how hard it is to get things. Because to be honest, even if you might make $300 or whatever I'm going to be making, thank God,
Yeah.
it's still going to cost me time. Like, I'm going to pretty much be doing like the hours that nobody wants to do for editing, 8, 7, 5 hours and stuff. So I want them to know that everything takes, but at the same time, I don't want them to be like, oh, Dad has $1,000 and yet I don't even have food. Like, obviously, I want to give them the necessary stuff to survive.
Right.
But at the same time, I want them to be open to like, hey, there's a world that I believe God has provided for us to do things, to create things.
Right.
I do believe a lot of creativity, Creativity is everything. If you think about every single thing that was created, it was with creativity.
Creativity, right.
Yeah, even math is creativity. So I want them, give them that, the freedom of, they can choose what they want to do. But at the same time, like, I want to provide for them that, they will not suffer hunger.
Right.
Because that's something that I have. And even sometimes I'm still in the moment of hunger, But I don't want them to feel that because it doesn't feel nice.
Right.
It really doesn't feel nice. But yet that they will know that it's also hard work or it's work to get that food as well.
What's been some of your challenges? Like that's that's made it difficult to kind of plan or difficult to kind of think ahead? What's been some of the reasons that's prevented you from being able to do that?
I guess mentality. Like my mentality has been used to like, well, first you need to solve what's now, and then you can solve whenever you're done here. You can solve later. But I realized that has not happened yet.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen naturally. I think I have to be also the one. I think you were saying in the show like chess pieces.
Yeah.
Right. I also have to look at the chess pieces like, okay, I know how to play the game, but also I know how every pieces they move, but also I need to remember the enemy, or I need to see what are the pieces ahead so I can win. Because if you don't think pieces ahead, you're gonna lose.
Yeah, you're gonna lose, right?
and you might get lucky, but that's lucky. And
Right.
you don't want that.
You don't want to live through luck.
You don't want to live through luck because then it's gonna be up and downs, and then you're gonna blame it on God, or you're gonna blame it on your dad or whoever you're gonna blame it with.
Right.
You don't want that because also comes with shame.
Right.
You don't want to have that in your life.
What has been? Do you practice like daily affirmations and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I used to do that. I have to start doing it because I realized it have been helping me. I do recommend it. I definitely do recommend it.
Yeah.
There's something in the brain,
Right.
either religiously or psychologically, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're humans that we're meant to be like that. We need to be affirmed of everything.
Yeah.
It's not that, what is it called? Like, you know, like this new generation that they say like, oh, you have to give them trophies for not doing anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, you also have to be affirmed that you're a good human.
Right.
That you can do good things. That you are capable of doing certain things.
Right.
Because this is funny. I'm not even kidding. This is what I actually did. I did approve.
Yeah.
You know, because in the Bible it says like everything is life. Everything has life. So I did approve of how much our words matter. So I did this. I put 2 plants. Actually, were not even my plants. They were somebody else's plants. And I'm not even kidding. Every single day, I will speak to one plant awesomely.
Wow.
It sounds really stupid, but it works. Just try it out.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
And I speak to that plant. It's like, oh man, you're a beautiful plant. You're a beautiful, awesome plant. You're gonna grow stronger. And the other one, I was not cursing it, but I was saying like, you're a horrible plant. You don't do anything. You're not even gonna grow. You're even gonna die even younger. Literally, it happened a month, and I totally was forgetting about it, you know. And then I look at the plants, and every single plant was actually being fed right and water. Well, that was actually the owner doing that.
Yeah.
I started seeing the plant that I was speaking nast. It was actually dying.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding. It was actually dying. And yet the other plant was looking so beautiful. It was so green. I should have taken a picture.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was like so beautiful, so green. It was even growing faster. And the owners were like, "Yeah, what's going on with this plant?" Like,
So I'm gonna actually join into that.
yeah.
So if you would consider yourself the plant, what kind of words did you hear when you was growing up?
The plant that is like dying. I was hearing that. It's like, well, you're not going to be able to do this because you're born in a certain circumstance. So I was talking to that plant like that. It's like if that plant was born in a ghetto,
Right,
you know,
right.
like in a ghetto place. But that have affected me.
And that's how people were speaking to you like that.
Yeah.
Who were the type of people, if you don't mind sharing, who were the type of people who were sharing
Family.
that kind of,
You know,
wow.
it was definitely family. If you don't have a family that goes with you, they can put you even more down. So whenever you go to the world outside, you're already down. And people even going to put you down, so you're just accepting it.
Yeah. Do you feel that the words that you've heard growing up, that it's affected you even now?
Yeah,
Still?
definitely.
And you're still dealing with some of those battles?
I still deal with it like every single day.
Wow.
Those words come to my mind, and I just have to disagree with it.
You have mentioned like God and the church. What do you think the church and their view with like money and all that? Because you compare churches to like witches. Can you break that down?
No,
like
and it's true.
some of the churches, not all churches, but you was
Yeah,
comparing
not
it to
all
what
churches,
happens.
but all churches that they start saying like, well, money, if you give money to God, or He will give you a better life or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, let's think about story in other religions like Mayas. Oh, give a woman to God, to the gods, and God will give you rain.
Yeah, yeah.
That is pretty much putting the equality of that God, that's the way it is. But yeah, if you read the Bible, there's nowhere that says that God will give you stuff just because you give Him money. Like that was not the purpose of that.
Right.
It has like a different meaning.
So you've come to understand that the principle is like, okay, you know, like there is things we have to do. I still need to believe in God and trust God, but yet faith without works is dead. I still need to put in the work, the hard work. I may have to stay up late. I may have to read this book and all that good stuff.
I cannot be just here and say, okay, God, give me a job and everything, and I'm not even going out.
Right, right.
Like, God is not just gonna plant a person randomly, like, hey, I don't know why, but I feel like coming here.
Right.
I give you a job with $100,000 a year. It's like,
Exactly.
that's not gonna happen, because God understands that we need to do work for us to appreciate things.
Right.
It's the truth.
Right, right.
Because whenever you have it for free, you're never gonna actually accept it or take care of it.
What are your have you ever had a business coach or a life coach, so far? You're 23, have you ever had
No, I have not.
what's been some of have you ever looked for one, or
Yes, I have.
what's been the challenges?
Just
Just making it happen.
just making it happen. Like, well, I made it happen because like every time I go places, I try to look for the right person. But excuse me, but every time I try to find it, it's like a rare thing. It's a really rare thing. Like I found you by coincidence, I guess you want to call it. But besides that, 23 23 years old back and everything, like I have not had anybody that will care.
Right.
Because it's a lot of selfishness. It's a lot of nobody comes to you and be like, hey, I see you struggling. Like, let me help you.
Right.
I'm not going to help you just by giving you money, but also I'm going to help you by giving you knowledge of how to do things.
Right.
It has never been like that.
How has some of these conversations that me and you've been having, how is it affecting you now? Like, your perspective and of yourself and what you're capable of doing.
Is making me want to do a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I somehow feel like I have hope again.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm 23 years old, you might say like, oh, well, you have a lot of life. They always tell you like you always have a long time to think about it. But this is the thing. I got out of high school.
Yeah.
And people told me like, oh, you don't know what to be? It's okay. You still have a lot. It's been like how long? 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 4 years, and I still don't. Like I still don't have anything. Like
and the cool thing about it is like, I know our time is almost ending, but I'll say this to you even as an affirmation. It's like when I look at you, I easily see you making over $100,000 a year.
Darn,
easily.
That's awesome to hear.
And the cool thing about it is it's not hype. You actually have a valuable skill. There's a wide targeted audience who needs you, right? And you're around people who can actually help you. You're around the books that you can read. The only thing that can stop you is you.
No, that's true.
And I think over time, you won't stop you anymore. And I think over a very short time, you won't be, you're still going through the transition. So you're still now going through this evolution, but I literally see you. Like I see you being able to do all of that. I see your wife being able to have that option. Do I want to go to work or do I not want to go to work?
That's true.
Right? I literally see that. And I think that's like the missing link, even in like church. It's like, you get people who they lay hands on you, they pray for you and stuff like that. But it's like, and I see that too. I see like, speaking life over people and prophetic words and all that. But I also see this practical side. And I'm like, man, if both of them come together, that's awesome.
You have a huge generation of people just moving. And other people like insult them, they'll be like, I know who I am.
Exactly. And I know who I am. I know how I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
And when I meet something that I can't resolve, I still have my Father in heaven that can still, help me through even these things that might appear to be impossible. It's like, what did God tell Moses? That with God, all things are possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and if God can do all this, and then I look around and I'm like, and God was like, yeah, look what I did. And then God is like, now look what humans did. And I'm just looking at all the stuff humans did. And he was like, now can you imagine, he's like, being really the sons and daughters of God and really taking charge and really being who we're called to be in this life. But our time is up, man. Guys, these minutes go by fast, man. My time is up. You are watching Joining the 1%, and this is my friend Norman. And I hope that you're able to overcome the obstacles that are in your mind, that you'll speak affirming words to yourself, that you'll surround yourself with an inner circle of friends and peers who can speak life to you, and not only speak life to you, but also get into the weeds with you and help you get things done. Because we all need partners. We all need help. We all need a network of friends and families, right? So go to our website, www.joiningthe1%.com. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/joiningthe1%, and check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/joiningthe1%. And look out for Norman when he starts creating his YouTube channel and all his content, because he gonna be knocking the ball out the park. All right. So again, this is Samuel Genus with Joining the 1%. I will see you in the next video. Take care.